always apply for advance parole. Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States at our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. You should always apply for advance parole. In fact, this is part of our maxim around here, which is that you should always apply for any immigration benefit to which you are entitled. Now, what are we talking about when it comes to advance parole? Well, when we file a green card case, we always file for advance parole. So, of course, while your green card case is pending, you have the opportunity to apply for a temporary work authorization, and you do that by filing the Form I-765, and we can apply for advance parole, which is permission to leave the United States while our green card case is pending. And you do that by filing the I-131 and fill out the portion of that form that's related to advance parole. Now, here's what most people don't understand. When you apply for a green card, you are pretty much stuck inside the United States. If you leave after filing the green card application without applying for and getting approved for advance parole, you will be deemed to have abandoned your green card application, and you will have to process through the consulate overseas. Now, people think this doesn't really happen, but it actually does happen. We've seen it happen time and time again. And sometimes lawyers are told by their clients, hey, I don't have any plans to leave the United States. I don't need the advance parole. Let's just do the work card and the green card application. But we always file for advance parole, and here's why. Every year we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clients who come to us and after having told us that they would never need advance parole, then say, oh my gosh, we need to leave the United States right now. My mother is sick, my father is sick, my sister is sick, and they want to go back home, but they didn't apply for advance parole. Of course, these aren't cases that we filed. These are cases that somebody else filed. So we always file for advance parole because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what life may bring you, and you never know if you're going to leave the United States. So remember, the rule is if you leave without advance parole, your green card case is abandoned, the filing fee that you filed for the green card is abandoned, and all that's left is your I-130 petition, and you're going to have to get USCIS to not only approve that I-130, but then tell them to begin processing the case at the National Visa Center through the State Department. That is a big hassle. This all came to a head on our show yesterday when I was talking to a young lady. We'll call her Barbara. Barbara hired a different law firm. Now, Barbara had been inside the United States without status for several years. That is, she had entered the United States on a visit visa, overstayed her visa by more than a year, and then married a U.S. citizen. Her lawyer told her, for some strange reason, not to apply for advance parole. Now, this, of course, violates Jim's rules and Hacking Immigration Law's rules, which is we always file for advance parole when we file for that green card. So the lawyer told her, don't apply for advance parole. And unfortunately, this young lady, Barbara, was not able even to articulate a good reason why the lawyer told her that. Now, I suppose in fairness to the lawyer that he or she did not want Barbara to leave the United States because of that overstay. And that's generally true. We understand that. We would always encourage our clients to wait until they have the actual green card in hand to leave the United States. That is, to wait for the entire processing of the green card case and not just to rely on advance parole because of that 1-year overstay. But in any event, we would still go ahead and apply for advance parole, and here's why. Because this is what happened to Barbara. Barbara's mom got very, very sick and was on her deathbed, and Barbara was stuck in the United States because she didn't have advance parole. She tried to make arrangements with USCIS for an emergency interview, but, in their mind, she'd applied for a green card a year ago, and they're scratching their heads saying, well, why didn't you apply for advance parole? You didn't apply for advance parole, and now you're asking us to expedite what you should have filed a long time ago. So that request for expedited advance parole went nowhere. Again, this is why we always apply for advance parole right out of the box. So Barbara is now left trying to get back home in about 4 weeks in order to attend the funeral of her mother. And it's not looking very promising. It's not looking like she's going to get advance parole. Her green card case has now been on file for a year without an interview. So because of this lawyer, and because this lawyer broke that rule, of which I said always apply for advance parole, Barbara not only missed the death of her mother, She's now going to most likely miss the funeral of her mother, which has been postponed several times because Barbara hasn't been able to leave the United States. I have to tell you, when I hear these examples, these real life, real world examples of people screwing up their case, it breaks my heart. My dad passed away last year, so I understand the sadness of being there with him when he had his last days. In fact, I wrote his eulogy, and I talked about the power of that last day that me and my sisters and my mother had with him. I can only imagine what Barbara's going through. I feel very sorry for her, and it's all because her lawyer screwed up her case. I'm very sorry for Barbara, and I want you all to learn the lesson to always apply for advance parole. If you have a green card case that's pending right now and you haven't filed for advance parole, go ahead and do it. There's no extra fee. It's just one extra form. It's not that hard to get. And I really encourage you to do that so that you don't find yourself in a situation like dear Barbara. Hope this all makes sense. Hope that if you're thinking about applying for a green card, you've learned your lesson and that you will apply for advance parole. If you recently got married and want to apply for a green card, or if you want to apply for a green card on some other basis and you want to work with one of the best law firms in the country, give us a call at 314-961-8200. Email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. You know, the only reason I learned about Barbara's case is because of our Immigration Answers live show, which we do 3 or 4 times a week, in which 60 minutes go by with me answering as many immigration law-related questions as possible. And you can find that if you subscribe to our YouTube channel or if you join us in our Facebook group, which is called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there and to post your questions, talk to other people going through the immigration process, find the support that you need, and then make the best decision possible as to whether or not you want to go through this process with or without a lawyer. Hope this helps. Have a great day.